Kevin Durant has spent most of his career being analyzed in the wrong way. On the court, people obsess over his scoring titles, his finals MVPs, and the teams he chose to play for. Off the court, though, the conversation almost completely falls apart. Instead of real analysis, it turns into personality judgments. Too sensitive, too online, too reactive. And what's strange is that while people argue about whether Kevin Durant gets it, he's quietly built one of the most modern, adaptable, and forward-thinking business portfolios in the entire NBA.
How did you learn about Bitcoin?
Just scrolling on YouTube, to be honest. Can't lie to you. And then I just seeing so many videos of seminars of people like this talking about cryptocurrency and how's the future of the world. And I was always into like futuristic, the new technology coming, how our world can change. And I felt like that was something that could be consistent and can last. And I mean, here we are now, 10 years later, we're still talking about it.
The reason his off-court strategy feels invisible to so many people is because it doesn't look like what we've been trained to recognize as success. It's not loud. It's not centralized. It doesn't revolve around one perfectly protected image. Kevin Durant didn't try to become a brand empire in the traditional sense. He built something closer to an ecosystem. And once you see that, his entire career, on and off the court, starts to make a lot more sense. To understand Durant's approach, you first have to get rid of the idea that every superstar is supposed to follow the same blueprint. LeBron James built a centralized machine. One narrative, one image, one tightly controlled ecosystem where everything flows upward into a single brand identity. That model is incredibly powerful, but it also requires constant maintenance.
Digital, if it's apparel, whatever the case may be, just trying to hit home in living rooms, and families and households, and we've been able to capture that because our stories are very authentic. So
Kevin Durant chose a different route entirely. Durant decentralized. Instead of tying his identity to one city, one franchise, or one public persona, he spread his influence across industries, platforms, and ownership positions. His business foundation, 35 Ventures, reflects this perfectly. On paper, it's an investment and media company. In reality, it operates like a holding company designed to outlast Durant's playing career. 35 Ventures has invested in more than 80 companies across tech, fintech, sports, media, and consumer products. These aren't random celebrity investments meant to sound impressive in interviews. Many of them were early-stage bets on scalable platforms. Companies like Coinbase, Postmates, Robinhood, SeatGeek, and Oura. What matters here isn't just the names, it's the pattern.
When did you decide to start focusing beyond, your brand and the sport and really building a legacy here?
I mean, when I started to, build a brand for myself as a basketball player, I have a Nike business, and seeing guys like Michael Jordan who've had the Jordan brand for the last 20 years, and I want to have something that's, be able to sustain for that long, have that longevity. I'm not, like you said, we don't have an exit plan or a specific plan for the next few years, but we just want to be working, for as long as possible and continue to pivot and find different things to reinvent ourselves. And, hopefully as, we continue to keep progressing.
Durant consistently targeted businesses built around infrastructure, networks, and long-term behavioral shifts. Payment platforms, marketplaces, data-driven health products, fan engagement tools. These are companies designed to grow quietly and compound over time, not spike because of one viral moment. That's venture capital logic, not endorsement logic. What makes this more impressive is timing. Durant didn't wait until retirement to figure out business. He entered these spaces while still in his prime, while his leverage was strongest. That access matters. It opens doors to better deals, stronger relationships, and deeper involvement. Durant didn't just write checks, he learned how the game worked. This mindset also explains why his off-court income now rivals the league's biggest names. As of 2025, Durant is earning over $100 million annually when combining salary and off-court income. A significant portion of that comes from business activity, not just endorsements. And speaking of endorsements, even those are structured differently than people assume. Durant's lifetime deal with Nike anchors his commercial identity, but what's interesting is how selective he's been elsewhere. His partnerships with companies like Coinbase aren't just promotional, They're integrated. Content collaboration, education initiatives, media alignment through Boardroom. These deals blend influence with equity and narrative control. Durant isn't just lending his face, he's embedding himself into the ecosystem of the brand. Boardroom is a perfect example of how this thinking plays out. On the surface, it looks like a media platform covering sports and business, but its real value comes from positioning. Boardroom sits at the intersection of athletes, executives, creators, and investors. It doesn't chase highlights. It provides context. It tells stories about power, ownership, and leverage in modern sports. By 2025, Boardroom isn't just a side project. It's a recognized cultural voice, publishing influential lists, hosting conversations with top athletes and executives, and shaping how business in sports is discussed. When figures like Anthony Edwards or Michael B. Jordan appear under the Boardroom umbrella, it signals something important. Durant didn't just build a platform for himself, he built one others want to be associated with. This is where people misunderstand Durant's media presence. Yes, he's online. Yes, he responds to criticism. But that behavior isn't disconnected from his broader strategy. In a media environment where authenticity drives engagement, Durant's willingness to be present, imperfect, emotional, human, actually strengthens his relevance. He doesn't pretend criticism doesn't exist. He absorbs it, responds to it, and continues moving. That relevance is valuable. Brands don't just want clean images anymore. They want cultural gravity. They want someone who moves conversations. Durant does that without trying to manufacture it. Another major evolution in Durant's strategy came in 2025, when he acquired a minority stake in Paris Saint-Germain through a partnership with Qatar Sports Investments. This move quietly elevated him into a different tier of athlete entrepreneurs. Owning a stake in a global soccer powerhouse isn't about flexing wealth, it's about positioning. PSG is a global brand with reach far beyond basketball. Through this partnership, Durant isn't just investing in a team. He's gaining exposure to international sports markets, global media strategy, and cross-sport expansion opportunities. He's also involved in advisory roles related to branding, content, and community initiatives. This is ownership thinking, not endorsement thinking.
So you came to Paris 2015, you went to our stadium.
Yeah.
What makes Paris so special for you?
Yeah, just the history, the love for sport, the love for art in general.
Yeah.
You know, the people make it what it is. It gets so much love every time I come here. You know, they appreciate the sport. And, you know, it's just a beautiful city to be in overall, man.
What ties all of this together is flexibility. Durant has never locked himself into one version of success. On the court, that's been interpreted as instability. Off the court, it looks like risk management. He maintains leverage by keeping his options open. He avoids overcommitting to structures that could limit his future decisions. This philosophy extends to his brand. Kevin Durant doesn't need to be universally loved to be effective. His business model doesn't depend on constant approval or flawless reputation. It depends on ownership, equity, and infrastructure. That's why it's resilient. Even when public narratives shift, his investments continue operating. Even when his playing career eventually ends, his influence doesn't reset. The systems he's built don't require him to score 30 points a night to function. This is the part most people miss. Kevin Durant's off-court strategy isn't designed to win popularity contests. It's designed to compound quietly over time. It values adaptability over control, learning over image, and infrastructure over attention. When people describe Durant as emotional or reactive, they're usually reacting to isolated moments. When you zoom out and look at the total picture, a consistent pattern emerges. He positions himself early. He diversifies intelligently. He embeds himself in industries with long-term growth. And he builds structures meant to last beyond his playing career. Kevin Durant didn't create the loudest empire in sports. He didn't create the cleanest narrative. But he created one of the most future-proof business strategies the NBA has ever seen. And that's why his off-court strategy is underrated. Because it doesn't announce itself. It just works.